ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. Canto 1, chapter 5, verse 19. न वै जनो जातु कथञ्चनाव्रजेन् मुकुन्दसेव्यन्यवद् अङ्गसंस्मृतिम् स्मरन् मुकुन्दाग्र्युपघौ उपगूहनं पुनर्विहातुम् इच्छेन्न रसग्रहो जनः. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. Purport. A devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material existence because he is rasagraha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So he becomes uninterested. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Because he has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, he becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material existence automatically. So which means that if we are still interested in the enchantment of material existence, we have not tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Sorry. There are certainly many instances where devotees of the Lord have fallen down due to uncongenial association, just like fruity workers who are always prone to degradation. So we have to note this very carefully. Uncongenial association, like fruity workers, karmis. So devotees fall down due to association with karmis. Why? Because they are always prone to degradation. Karmis are always prone to degradation. So if we associate with people who are prone to degradation, we will also be prone to degradation. So devotees have fallen down, will fall down, will continue to fall down, are falling down, all because of karmi association. But even though he falls down, a devotee is never to be considered the same as a fallen karmi. Karmi suffers the result of his own fruitive reactions, whereas a devotee is reformed by chastisement directly by the Lord himself. Yesterday we discussed this. Devotee is reformed by chastisement directly by the Lord. So, surrendered devotee. A devotee who surrendered the lotus feet of his guru at the time of initiation is not necessarily suffering the results of his past karma. So he is being reformed by chastisement directed by the Lord himself. So personally, Lord is taking care of the devotees. There's no exaggeration in the statement. It just depends on the quality of our surrender. That's all. The sufferings of an orphan and the sufferings of a beloved child of a king are not one and the same. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him. But a beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be on the same level as the orphan, is always under the vigilance of his capable father. A devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruity workers. The fruity workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange for devotional service. Such foolish devotees are sometimes put into difficulty by the Lord Himself. Sometimes, not always. As a special favor, He may remove all material paraphernalia. By such action, the bewildered devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives, and so he comes to his senses again by the mercy of the Lord, and is set right to execute his devotional service. Hmm? So I'm reading this again. A devotee, due to wrong association, which is karmi association, sometimes imitates the fruity workers, meaning we try to behave, live like them. We are not giving association, we are taking association. So we sometimes try to imitate them. The fruity workers want to lord it over material world. Now, what is this imitation? Because the fruity workers want to lord it over material world. Similarly, such a devotee who has a karmi association is being called here a neophyte because he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong, what is good for him, what is not good for him. So that neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange for devotional service. This is the lording over mentality. Either somebody wants to accumulate material power, somebody wants to accumulate material wealth, somebody wants to accumulate material position foolishly. Such foolish devotees, they're foolish, but if they have surrendered to the Lord, though they are foolish, such devotees are sometimes put into difficulty by the Lord Himself. Sometimes this is not very common because the because the mostly neophyte devotees are not surrendered. Second thing is the devotee's own karma is good enough to rectify him. Doesn't require. I mean, if he's in the association of right devotees, he will start thinking about his life and why suffering, etc., etc. He might come to his senses. In very special cases, Lord will Himself intervene. But one who is surrendered, we cannot call the devotee necessarily foolish. He might fall down due to wrong association, like Prabhupada has mentioned above. In those cases, the Lord personally chastises him. So both type of devotees are being described here. One is a neophyte devotee who is trying to accumulate some material power, meaning willfully he is engaging in some material contamination, and the other by force of previous, I mean, he doesn't want, but falls down. Not intentional, but just falls down. So the neophyte devotee, generally the Lord doesn't interfere, but here Prabhupada is saying sometimes he interferes. And what does the Lord do as a special favor? He may remove all material paraphernalia. By such action, bewildered devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives. Not just money, right? For example, even position or power or even some many times health, any of this can be removed by the Lord. And he's forsaken sometimes because, okay, he doesn't have money, power, position. Other times because of others cannot do really anything. So they kind of give up. Oh, I can't help this devotee. I can't help this person. So then the devotee realizes, okay, nobody can do anything. Only person who can do something is Lord. So he now it intensifies his surrender. Hmm. So he comes to his senses again by the mercy of the Lord and is set right to execute his devotional service. Now he starts, he rectifies himself and continues to execute his devotional service, but now with maybe more vigor, more seriousness. So, which is why all kinds of suffering in a devotee's life is simply mercy, simply mercy. Mm. Because everything is helping us to just remove all obstacles in our path, on our path. But what we need to be careful is we need to be careful about the association. We should not willingly engage, associate with karmis. This we should avoid. Not associate with karmis doesn't mean not interact with karmis. We have to understand the difference. Association means getting influenced. Now we can say hi, hello, Hare Krishna, whatever, right? As in, yeah, we are in a society. We have certain obligations. We can fulfill those obligations, but we shouldn't get influenced. If we are not strong enough, uh, that by even by simply coming in touch with those karmis, we'll get deeply influenced. Then better to keep away. But those who are relatively strong enough, they can engage, interact, but not get influenced. This is very important. Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that such fallen devotees are given a chance to take birth in a family of highly qualified brahmanas or in a rich mercantile family. This is if the devotees fall down and then they give up their life also, and they have not been able to come back to the right position of devotional service, and they have to give up their body. Then they are given another chance to take birth in a family of highly qualified brahmanas or in a rich mercantile family. A devotee in such a position is not as fortunate as one who is chastised by the Lord and put into a position seemingly of helplessness. So this devotee was regular, yeah, he just fell down and then he gets another chance. But Prabhupada is saying he's not as fortunate as one who is chastised by the Lord. So getting chastisement, meaning having suffering in life, and being put into a position seemingly of helplessness, because it's not really of helplessness, because Lord Himself is there. Lord Himself is putting us into helplessness. So it's just seemingly of helplessness. It's not a really we're not helpless. And that is a real fortune. That is a big fortune for a devotee if the Lord interferes in his life. The devotee who becomes helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. So we have to become helpless. It's totally contradictory to material world, right? Where we're saying you have to become strong, self-dependent, don't depend on anybody else. Should always be confident about your own capabilities. Should never be helpless in front of others. But for a devotee, you have to become helpless in front of the Lord. Such a devotee who becomes helpless is more fortunate. Who is a devotee who will become helpless in front of the Lord? What kind of devotee will not become helpless in front of the Lord? Hmm? What kind of devotee will not become helpless? So, what is the necessary qualification to become helpless? Even if we are in the middle of very difficult situations, what kind of people, what kind of devotees will feel that helplessness? What kind of devotees will not feel that helplessness?
Pranam Prabhuji, surrender devotees would feel helplessness
Surrender
on
devotees,
Lord.
okay. Maybe, may not be. Okay. Anything else? Any other answer? For ours, I mean, for our practical application, what we can see, we can understand. Who will feel helpless? Who will not feel helpless? A devotee who is humble will feel helpless. Who is not arrogant, who is not full of pride, who is not full of false ego, thinking that I can do everything, he will feel helpless, right? So this too much of self-esteem, this kind of all this worldly stuff, right? Which is what we are taught to do, taught to learn, is not going to help us. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Pranada Pisunichen, Amani Namanadin. That is humility. Person who is humble, who knows also reality that, okay, I am really insignificant. What can I do? It's only the Lord's will. If He wills, then it can happen. He becomes helpless. He feels helpless. A fully surrendered devotee doesn't care. Meaning materially something is happening, he says, yeah, it's okay. Whatever Krishna wants. This is an initial feeling, expression of some weakness, right? He's feeling helpless and he might go to the Lord like that. A surrendered devotee, he just be fixed in his service, Krishna, irrespective. Of course, the surrendered devotee also is humble. He never thinks that he is capable of doing anything and everything. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to show this by example. Whenever somebody used to call him for any kind of preaching program, he always used to say, Krishna willing, I'll come. That is helplessness. Meaning I am not independent. I'm not independent. I'm helpless. I'm dependent on the will of the Lord. That even the exalted devotees, they will be in that mood, but they will not ask anything from the Lord. They'll just say, yeah, Krishna willing, let it happen. So the important thing here is that as devotees, we always want to have a very comfortable life. It may or may not be the best thing for us. We have to be clear what our goal is. If our goal is to achieve Krishna, then Krishna knows best. If our goal is to achieve Krishna and nothing else, obviously we will be surrendered. If you're surrendered, then Krishna is in control. Krishna personally takes care of that devotee's life. Why should we be worried? Hmm? Why should we uh, not want suffering? Why do we want to have a comfortable life? That means that we want comfortable life more than Krishna. We don't want Krishna. So the devotees who become helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. The fallen devotees born in a good family may forget, not that they will forget, they may forget the lotus feet of the Lord because they are less fortunate. But the devotee who is put into a forlorn condition is more fortunate because he swiftly returns to the lotus feet of the Lord, thinking himself helpless all around. Hmm. So it's better to not expect a comfortable life. It's better to be open to suffering and become more fortunate and turn towards the Lord than just falling down and then taking another birth in a better family, etc. for slow progress in bhakti. It's a process for slow progress. So if we are really serious about bhakti, we can pray like Kunti Maharani. If we don't have any problems in our life, if we have problems, sufficient problems in our life, then it's good. Just we look at it more positively as Krishna's special mercy and work towards becoming more dearer to him and his disciple and his devotees. Pure devotional service is so spiritually relishable that a devotee becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. That is the sign of perfection. Of course, perfection means perfection in progressive devotional service. Perfection in progressive, meaning it's still progressing. It's a sign of perfection. This is Brahma Bhuta, literally. I'm being uninterested in material enjoyment. Because then we will be tatastha, we will be equipoised in happiness and distress. So we should understand while we are on the topmost platform of achieving Krishna, as in the path, we are on the most powerful path, path of bhakti. But still we are struggling to even get over Brahma Bhuta, come to Brahma Bhuta platform, which is a prerequisite for us to get pure devotional service. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. So when we are executing, when we are executing devotional service purely, meaning we without any intention, we will very soon come to this Brahma Bhuta platform. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. So we are not doing the other way around, right? In the sense, so this is interesting. See, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma no sochati na kanchati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. So that verse says, a gnani who comes to the platform of Brahma Bhuta, then he gets pure devotion. But our process is beautiful. Our process is that we have not come to Brahma Bhuta, but we already have been given the opportunity to do pure devotional service. So by simply engaging in pure devotional service, even though we are not qualified, we'll come to Brahma Bhuta and actually we'll get established in pure devotional service, meaning irrevocably, like Nishtha, basically. Is this clear? For a Gnani, he has to do the process of Jnana, come to the platform of Brahma Bhuta, then he can get pure devotion. For a Bhakta, whether he's qualified or not, if he simply desires to execute pure devotional service, he may or may not be fully executing also, but he's just trying. Gradually, by that sincere attempt, over a period of time, he'll come to Brahma Bhuta. But if you are in mixed devotion, then we will not come to Brahma Bhuta. Mixed devotion, we'll go to Swarga, which means we are still in this material world only. We can't get out of the material world. If you want to get out of the material world, we have to come to Brahma Bhuta. So mixed devotion is not good. So if you do pure devotion, we will come to Brahma Bhuta. Right? And then we'll move further also, which means we will become disinterested with material enjoyment. We'll make progress. That is why this is a sign of perfection in progressive. It's a sign of perfection still. Because Brahma Bhuta is a sign of perfection. It's not some trivial position to reach. It's a sign of perfection, but it's in progressive devotional service, meaning devotional service will go further beyond Brahma Bhuta. A pure devotee continuously remembers the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna and does not forget him even for a moment. Not even in exchange for all the opulence of the So beautiful. So one more brilliant purport. Any comments, questions? All okay? Let's see how long. Oh, can't start this part. Okay, I'll just stop here. This purport will take one. Anyway, we're still not entered into the actual topic. Oh, Sri Narada Muni's life. There's still so many beautiful things to hear and understand and incorporate. Okay, I'll just pause here. Any questions? Anything generally? Any topics? Anything to be discussed?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Can I ask something,
Yeah,
please?
please. Yeah.
Prabhuji, like here it is mentioned that when the devotee is put into a lot of problems, like it is the Lord's blessing. But in material life, you see, like usually, I mean, if you're put into a lot of problems, even the little devotion we have, even that slackens, and it's like you say, you've done it, and you move far away from it rather than coming into it. Why does this happen? Because we're not completely surrendered, or we are not, but we are still trying to become devotees. And then if such a thing happens, even the little devotion we have goes astray.
Yeah. So there are two things here. One is, when we have not really surrendered to Krishna, like I said, we are just suffering because of our past karma. And when that karma comes, if we are not humble, if we are humble, then we'll become helpless. We'll feel helpless and we will go to Krishna. If we are not humble, if we think that I am the doer, then we will do our own attempts. See, even in all these situations, if we are continuously hearing, if we are in the association of devotees, there's no way our bhakti can reduce, because devotees will make us realize, saying that, hey, you know what, I mean, we are helpless. Nothing is in our control. We are all insignificant jivas. Better depend on Krishna. So if we are in the association of right devotees, we'll get the same advice to just surrender to Krishna. But if we are independent, if we are by ourselves, then yes, there's a high chance that people even go away from bhakti. So, which is why, that is the beauty of association, right? So when we are in when we are not strong enough in bhakti, right, then the association will help us, take us in the right direction, which is to actually, in terms of difficulty, surrender to Krishna. But if we are full of false pride, then can't help. But if we are in good association, then devotees will still tell us, saying that, why, and the association, actually, this is why this association is, highlighted so much. Association has to be such that of um, more surrendered devotees. So devotees who are more surrendered than us. Because if we are associating with like very similar, like, same status, bhakti status as us in terms of surrender, etc., then such devotees may not be able to help us in difficulty, because they themselves are not aware of what needs to be done. So which is why always we have to have association of devotees. Association actually means of devotees who are more advanced than us. So when we are in the association of such devotees, it's very unlikely that we will leave bhakti, go away from Krishna. Very unlikely. Like I said, unless we are really unfortunate and we just give up association and for some reason decide to act independently, then yes, anything can happen. Okay. Anything else?
Prabhuji, sorry. Prabhuji, I just want to continue with this.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have seen two very close examples. There was one Mataji. She was so much of devotional service she was doing, everything. A very good devotee. She got married, and unfortunately, her husband expired. Very, very, in a very flimsy, like he had gone to work, and they say he got poisoned or what. I don't know. And this Mataji was in so much of distraught. Umpteen times telling her, come back to service, come. She completely left Krishna consciousness. Completely. She said, Jo hona hota hai. Sometimes, very rarely, she comes to the temple. That too, then she say, "Aise hi aa gayi main," you know, and completely, like she said, "Jo hona hota hai, wo hota hai." Then why not even live your life? I mean, like it's there. And on the other hand, I will not, the case of Vrinda Mataji.
Yeah.
She's her parents, I mean, it's an example to see. She says, no, it's Krishna. I mean, in front of the public, she's never broken. You can see that into the parents also. Just a few days back, the brother passed away. Then just within 2-3 months, the son-in-law passed away. I mean, you see the parents, they say, no, it's Krishna's mercy. It's Guru Maharaj knows best. Guru Maharaj knows best. I mean, like the two extreme cases I see. So how to relate them?
No, because see, the first one, while somebody might have told that devotee saying that don't go away, but if that person, I mean, especially if that person was initiated, then it's a big blunder they've done.
She's
Without
initiated.
actually,
Both of them are initiated by my
yeah, I
Guru
mean,
Maharaj.
that is
No,
the
sorry.
reason.
These are initiated by
She's okay. No, both are initiated. Sorry, one is not initiated.
Yeah, so if both are initiated, then they were wrong in their initiation, right? which is the reason actually, we have to be very, very careful about initiation, right? Because actually, see, all of this basically means that we've got initiated without actually understanding that I have to lose my independence and act as per the desire of my guru, right? So if that devotee in this kind of situation, if the devotee did not go to then it's a big blunder, right? And if devotees around her also did not tell her to go to Guru, that is another mistake, right? And if she went to the Guru and still rejected what the Guru would have said, because no Guru would want not forget about their own disciples, right? Any devotee for that matter, no Vaishnava would want them to go away from Krishna. So they would have just given the only perfect advice for that Jiva. Right? So if the devotee never went to approach the Guru in this distraught situation, then she chose to remain independent. Why did she get initiated? So this is the reason, right? When we talk about initiation, we tell people a zillion times. I mean, even at the time of Guru Ashraya, I tell so many people, boss, have you decided to give up your independence? If you have decided, please go ahead. Please, otherwise don't. Wait. It's okay. It's okay to wait for years. Right? Because it's not the right thing to just get initiated in, got a name, got some chanting beads, got, okay, Guru, and yeah, but you really don't know what is your relationship with Guru, what you need to do, how you need to approach. Why get initiated at all in the first place? No use. Shravanam is not happening. That's all. Simple. I mean, root cause analysis is very, very simple, right? No Shravanam is happening. If no Shravanam is happening, this is the result. Because any Savanam would immediately take that person to the Guru, saying that yes, you are surrendered soul, you surrender to Guru, go to Guru, speak to Guru, get directions.
Case the Guru also spoke to her, and there the initiation is very, very strict. Like after years, 4-5 years, the waiting, and in spite of it, if you do not, like
No,
you're
but
so
it's not
distraught.
fully surrendered, no, Mataji. I mean, see, if you go and tell your Guru saying that I'm going to go away from Krishna, what will he say? I
Yes,
mean, it's just a very simple thing, right? It's not surrender. See, surrender doesn't mean that I just, okay, okay. I mean, okay, I did a good job. I waited till I became more stable, etc. But more stable doesn't mean that I achieved perfection, right? It's good. It's much better than a immature, premature kind of initiation, right? But real initiation means Diksha Khale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. That Atma Samarpan, if it has not happened, irrespective whether it was, well thought through initiation, whether it was, however the initiation happened, the whole point is that it was not Atma Samarpan. It was not a surrendered state. And that is the key. I mean, that is why Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. That is a qualification for initiation. And which is why we keep telling people, which is why we keep telling people saying that please hear from your guru, because if you don't know what your guru is saying, what will you surrender to? You see, people have to surrender to Vani, right? Surrender basically means Vani, to instructions. Because when such a situation comes, you go to the guru, guru gives instructions. So if the people have not surrendered to Vani, that means it's not real surrender at all. So without Shravanam, we should, like, every person, I mean, I tell them saying that, have you heard? Have you heard enough from whoever you want to take initiation? Right? Okay. Sometimes many people have challenges with language, etc. I say, then you have to hold on to a devotee and fully surrender to the devotee, making sure that the devotee is at least, representing Guru properly. Somehow that has to be figured out, unfortunately, for people who can't understand or hear the, prospective gurus in the languages, that they speak. But without this, it's pointless. And these kind of things will result. This is why we need protection, right? We need protection of the Guru.
You are in hurry, bro?
Ah,
You are in hurry?
yeah, actually, yeah, if there is one message might come, my mother has some treatment at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Chalo,
If
carry
my
on.
if that message comes, I'll have to abruptly end. I'm just waiting. He said 9 o'clock. He's still not this one. So maybe till that message comes, we can I can available.
Another case I tell you, like that you say surrender. What will you say? Call that one surrender. A long back, I had a discussion with my Guru Maharaj actually.
Mm-hmm.
He said, okay, one devotee in Europe or US came for initiation, and he used to do a lot of service. After 1 or 2 years, he came for initiation.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've seen him doing a lot of service in temple, like a full-time devotee. He was there. When he came for initiation, then my Guru Maharaj explained him, okay, these are the follow and don't follow. Actually, as per Canto Prabhupada, you believe can be in Grasta life for once in a month, like that way. As soon as he heard that one, he took out his bead and kept on his Guru Maharaj table, and he said, walk away. Guru Maharaj said, I was shocked. Okay, for a small thing, okay, one person left Krishna and gone actually. But I was kind of like a stun. What should I do now? Actually,
Very hard.
So, what do you feel that he was surrendered, but he was doing in temple full time service and like that?
No, absolutely. See, this is why this is one of the things that I tell people, saying that service is not the criteria. Actually, service is not at all the criteria, right? Because service is just, many times people do service just for their own happiness. It gives them happiness, right? Some kind of happiness they're getting there. It's not a surrendered state. Service in the right consciousness is a surrendered state, right? So, which is why the first thing, see, Prabhupada in his list, if you see anywhere, right, Prabhupada is saying, making a list of things priority for a devotee, right? First he says health, second he says chanting, third he says reading or hearing, savanam, right? Fourth is, if you have time, you do service, right? Actually, I have a direct experience of this. I told this before, I think. You know, when I was in the middle of this Ramayana Kannada, Ramayana
translation there.
Right, and I had like so much work, and I was working, and I didn't have time. There was a deadline for the book to be released, and I literally, I mean, my chanting was haywire, my hearing too had stopped. Then at one point of time, sometime I met my Guru Maharaj, and I was just telling him, saying that it's like really tight, and you know, I'm not. He just said, stop it, stop this, let the book get delayed. First, fix your sadhana. He told me very clearly, if you are not doing chanting, if you are not doing hearing, reading regular basis, you stop your service. I don't want that book to be released. Right? So it was a very, very clear direction. That is why.
Very strong instruction, actually, very strong.
Yeah, I mean, he just said, stop it, stop. I mean, I don't want that book to be released. Right? Because see, this Shravanam, if we are not hearing from Srila Prabhupada, if we are not hearing from our Guru, then we will never surrender. We will never surrender. It will just become a, I mean, which is why I'm very, very, very about, you know, initiation, because initiation is such a significant stage, you know, milestone in a devotee's life. But unfortunately, people are not able to understand the seriousness. And I mean, I know that even in like many times we keep discussing, saying the devotee took initiation, after that vanished. Meaning they were doing service, they were coming, doing everything till initiation. And as soon as initiation gone, nobody is available for service. Nobody is available. No, where is the surrender? And the surrender, actually, Guru means, Guru will tell, okay, if you are in Bangalore, if you are in this temple, please follow what Anukul Prabhu says. Right? Whoever be the Guru. I mean, even my Guru Maharaj, the local authorities, they are your immediate instructors. You have to follow what they say. Right? Irrespective of who the Guru is. This has to be the instruction. So now, if I am not surrendered to local authority, if I am not surrendered to anybody, who is going to be pull me out when I'm in difficulty? Right? All this has to be told to people. Right? Without telling this, unfortunately, people don't read, people don't understand, and people will do whatever whimsical stuff. And we should not. We should support. We should help them out. You know?
For the probably it does not go much in detail of your recommendations, actually. Immediately I said, go ahead, can whatever do the needful, actually, Prabhu. Because I know, can you boy without scrutiny, you does not recommend anybody, can imagine.
No, because I'm very afraid, Prabhu, because see, it's a very serious. I mean, if for whatever reason we are not qualified. If we come to this position of recommending somebody to the
Yeah.
parampara, they have to
Yes.
be worth joining the parampara, number one, right? And the mercy actually comes only when the instructions are followed, right? And if the devotees are remain independent, then I'm so frightened. I'm so frightened. Literally, I tell you. I mean, I'm so frightened to put anybody in front of any guru. I mean, I'm not just concerned about my own guru. I tell
Yeah,
even
yeah, it is.
people who come to me saying that somebody told recommendation. I said, boss, I don't even know you. I'm not going to recommend. I don't know you. I mean, I can't recommend, right? I'm not ready to take up the responsibility of recommending you to the parampara without knowing you. Sorry. It's a very serious business, right? And because if we don't do that, we are doing disservice, because then the devotee will get initiated. Then we are supposed to be responsible, but that then devotee vanishes. And then what do we do? I've had like three experiences already, very in the very recent past.
I,
People came to me and then went away, and then I told them before going. I said, like, boss, you are going to have a struggle. You are going to struggle. Please listen to me. They didn't.
okay.
They came under pressure. They did something, and now I'm seeing they're struggling. They're struggling, and they don't want to come to me again because I told them already. Right now, they themselves don't have the face to come to me, and
Yeah.
who will help them?
You,
Right?
but
Even if I go and told
uh,
them out of my own, this one saying that, can I do, but they themselves are not now feeling like, or when you
can I intervene, Prabhu? You should have taken them your care. Actually, you should have revived them.
no, Prabhu, this is a very serious thing, right? See, one thing I always tell people, saying that you have the free will. I can't pull you into. I'm happy to guide you. I'm happy to guide you. Whoever be the guru, but I keep telling people, see, you have to follow
Yeah.
certain, right? Because it doesn't matter which guru you are taking. My guru. I said, see, then you don't come to me. If you come with this saying that my guru says so, I can do any nonsense, then you please
Yes,
go.
sir.
Then you don't come to me, right? Then you go to whoever will allow you to do that. But if you want to come to me, then I am not going to give you some exceptions, because I am not qualified to give you exceptions. I will give you whatever Prabhupada has given, right?
Yeah.
Because if you follow that, then you will never go away, right? You will never take a wrong decision. Your spiritual life will never be spoiled, right? But I've seen, Prabhu. I mean, in like last 1 year, I've seen at least three instances, right? And they were all so fully, saying, Shavanam, Prabhu, Shavanam, I'm going to hear from you. I said, boss, are you sure? Itna over enthusiastic mat bano, because after you hear same thing again and again, you'll go crazy.
Crazy.
You will say, this guy doesn't say anything apart from this, because there isn't anything apart from this. Prabhupada himself repeated the same message again and again, right? But if we don't highlight, if we don't emphasize this Shravanam, I mean, people won't surrender and then they'll go up. Unfortunate, but happens.
One there a long back one case was there, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm.
He used to beat his wife regularly.
Oh, okay.
I was knowing Madhusudan he was friend of Madhusudan, and he was in very good position in some software company or